Hello everyone, wish you a very good morning. I am Kanika Kumar, a special educator and the founder of Minds That Matter. I started MTMHOUR to spread awareness about special education and to share strategies with everyone, which the parents of special needs children as well as teachers who have special needs children in their classes can use. Today we have with us a very special guest, Shalmali Jadhav. She is the founder of Empathy for You, which is a social initiative towards spreading awareness about mental health and suicide prevention. She will be talking to us about art therapy and what role it plays in the mental well-being of special needs children as well as adults. So please stay tuned. She would also be sharing a lot of strategies that you can use at home. I'm just going to add her. Just give us a few seconds and the speaker would be coming live. Good morning, Rajiv, Jill, Deeksha. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Shivangi. Thank you for joining us. Hi, Gaurika. Our speaker is just joining. Thank you, Deeksha. Just give us a few seconds. Hello, Kanwal Singh. Thank you for joining us. We are going to be talking about art therapy, why to use art as therapy, what are the therapeutic practices that you can use at home with your children. I think my speaker is having some difficulty joining in. Yeah.
She's here.
Hi, good morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good, good, all good. Thank you for joining us here today, Shalmali.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure.
Okay, so I'm going to jump right in, Shalmali. Please help us understand what is art therapy.
Okay. So basically, as we are talking about art therapy, I'm not going to give you any extravagant definition or I'm not going to give you any bookish definition. For me, art therapy is
Right, right.
holistic method or use of those creative methods in order to, enhance your mental health that is useful in enhancing your mental health or treating psychological disorders. And
Okay.
for me, art therapy is something which focuses on two things. So
Mm-hmm.
first of all, it's self-reflection, and the second one is
Okay.
self-expression. So before, taking any art therapy sessions or asking, may it be a kid or an adult, asking anyone to, do some kind of art therapy activity or something, I always ask them to close their eyes, and I, kind of tell them to, I kind of throw those words on them, which helps them reflect
Right.
within themselves, if that, helps them to connect with themselves. And after that, when you are reflecting, when
Mm-hmm.
self-reflection is done, and it's
Okay.
time to express what you saw, everything, when you're closing your eyes, to express on that piece of paper. So for me, art therapy are two things. It's self reflection. You have to reflect within yourselves, and then you have to express on that piece of paper. So art
Okay.
therapy is, basically using those artistic methods through visual art. And there are different types of art therapy. So when it comes to art therapy, it could be just painting on the paper, it
Mm-hmm.
could be sketching, could be
Okay.
collage, using small clothes or small left out material and pasting it together, preparing a collage of that. It could also be mandala, zentangle. It could not only related to art, but there's also something called as dance and movement therapy. Music is
Right,
also
right.
bliss. Dance is also kind of soothing and grounding exercise. So art therapy usually, these are the types of art therapy. And when it comes to visual arts, these are the main things. And when
Okay.
we are talking about art, it's like, the focus is never on how your drawing looks. So we are always, kind of keen on, how is that looking, whether
Yeah,
it's really looking like a dog, whether it's really looking like a cat or something.
right.
So focus is never on how you draw or how does that look. The focus is always on expressing yourself. And that is why I said that self-expression is really very important.
Mhm. So, how does art relate to mental well-being? What is the connection?
Okay. So when it comes to art, as I told you, like be it a kid or an adult,
Mhm.
art is something like, is a coherent, enjoyable experience. So
Okay.
everyone enjoys art. Maybe a small children, maybe, an adult. Up to some extent, everyone enjoy art and, kind of get into that flow of
Right.
painting and drawing and everything. So that is the first thing. And apart from that, art therapy is also used as one of the techniques to treat
Mhm.
depression patients, to treat anxiety, to treat stress, PTSD. There are a lot of disorders that art therapy is used to treat. And
Okay.
apart from that, yes, these are the disorders, but apart from that, why art therapy for mental well-being? The first thing,
Mhm.
I'll again focus on self-expression, because
Right.
it's very rare these days that we actually sit with ourselves and just reflect within ourselves and just try to express what we are really going through. Because
Mhm.
with all the professional work and everything, and with the kids also, they are so much bombarded into studying and going to
Right,
school,
right.
going to tuitions. The whole day is packed for them also, and
Huh.
it's rarely they get some play time. When there's that ages of playing, they rarely get
Mhm.
that. So I feel
Right.
like, art therapy, it really helps in expressing yourselves when it comes to,
Mhm.
bottled emotions, to unbottle those. That's really very important from time to time. And art therapy
Okay.
is one of those techniques. Then second, as I told you, is self-reflection. When we
Mhm.
are doing art therapy, it's like kind of you are reflecting yourselves. Whatever is going inside you, you're kind of just expressing on that paper. So
Right,
you are
right.
kind of understanding this is what is going. For example, there's one activity of trying one emotions. So
Mhm.
you are supposed to draw the emotions that whatever you are feeling. It might be
Right,
sad,
right.
it might be happy, it might be guilty, it might be just blank, numb, no emotions. So
Mhm.
those emotions, when you try to reflect that, they might be having some size, they might be having some shape, and then you're
Right.
trying to reflect that on paper.
Mhm.
So, that is kind of reflecting within yourselves. You're trying to connect within yourselves. And
Okay.
also, I feel is, it gives you um, that growth and inner strength, because, again, as I'll say that it's very rare these days that we actually try to connect with ourselves, that we
Mhm.
actually try to understand, okay, this is what I'm going through. Okay,
Right.
this is what is happening inside me. We rarely pick inside our mind and understand, okay, this is what I'm going through. So,
Haha.
it's kind of giving us inner strength when we are trying to
Mhm.
draw that, or whenever we are actually trying to understand, okay, this is what is going on. This has a different shape. This has a different color. And then you're expressing on that paper. So basically, it's a kind of soothing exercise. It helps you in relaxing. It
Right,
also
right.
triggers a creative side of your brain. So, kind of doing creative things on that paper. So that is also one of the important things, because it gives some exercise to your brain also.
True, true. I think I
Yeah.
have been using a lot of adult coloring books, and I feel it has also helped me improve my concentration.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, definitely. That is also one of the things.
Right. So, is there any particular color that is associated to a particular emotion, and should we follow that while we are experimenting with art, or is it okay to use any color, whatever we feel like when we're engaging in the activity?
So art therapy, I feel
Like
like,
they say that
it's going to be
different colors
different for
express
different.
different kind of emotions.
Yes, yes. So
Okay.
yeah, that is also true. But I feel like, it's different for me. It's going to be different for you. For me, the happy colors are going to be something like red, orange, and yellow. For you, it could be different. It could be blue, green, it could be anything. So I don't feel
Okay.
like, there are certain colors that are associated with that. But I feel like it depends from person to person, and it's totally your choice about how you want to express, and what you visualize when you are doing that
Mm-hmm.
is very important, because as I said, it's going to have a different shape, it's going to have a different color. For me, uh, if I want to represent a chaotic emotion, just chaos, I would just scribble with different dark colors. For you,
Okay.
it could be, representing something else like wired strings, something like that. So it could be
Mm-hmm.
different for you. So it's
Right.
totally going to be, having different shape and colors. So I won't say that, these are the colors that are associated with this particular emotion.
Okay. Okay. So, how does art therapy help children with special needs?
Okay, so now when we're talking about special needs, it's like, communicating with those children is also, very difficult task, or making them communicate with others,
Right. Right.
making them social, or
Mm-hmm.
communicating with them others is also a difficult task. So
Mm-hmm.
what I feel is, when it comes to art therapy, as we talked about, its importance of, enhancing your mental health, its importance to
Right.
exercising your brain, the same thing can be, applied on the children with special needs also. So first of all, I feel like I would now suggest you some of the activities, and I would also tell them how, they are important
Okay.
for the
Right.
children, and in what way they are helping the children.
Okay.
So, first of all, let's talk about, building blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of building some structures, maybe with the help of clay. That would be, kind of creative clay activity. So when
Okay.
they're doing that, it's also, they're using the hands, they're using their creativity, they're using
Mm-hmm.
their, everything, like, kind of they are using and making those clay structures. So it's also very important that how they are using the creativity in that. It's also important,
Mm-hmm.
like, how they are kind of using the hands and doing that. So
Right.
kind
Right.
of motor skills are also
Right.
involved.
Motor
Kind of
skills are
coordination
important.
is also
Right.
involved. Yes. So, that is again very important. So along with art therapy, the skills are also developed in those children.
Uh-huh. Right.
Then I would love to, just focus on just painting, just
Mm-hmm.
taking on colors and painting on the paper. So
Okay.
it's like, as I said, triggers your creative side of the brain. The children or the child who is there, if you ask the child to draw something on the paper, it's kind of, that child will draw whatever he has seen around, whatever he is going through, might be that can also something that can be
Mm-hmm.
expressed by child on that paper. So it triggers the creative side of brain.
So we should
Next
not
is,
give
I
them
feel,
so we should not give them a particular topic. Rather, we should ask them to draw whatever it is that they feel like drawing, or what maybe something that they have observed in the environment.
yes, I feel like, sometimes this could be done, like telling them about, giving them a particular topic and asking them, okay, draw a house or draw a tree, then a river flowing. They
Okay.
can, you can do that too also. But
Okay.
sometimes I feel like, just leave them alone. Just give them the colors, just give them their paper and ask them to draw anything that they want to draw. And, that is also kind of, what happens when you do that. They are relating that with the some experience that they've lived, some
Mm-hmm.
experience that they have experienced
Right.
in maybe in last few days or a few weeks, and they're relating themselves to that, and then they are, kind of reflecting that or expressing that on that paper. And when
Mm-hmm.
we are telling that, draw some mountains, draw a house, and there needs to be a tree, and there needs to be a river, then they'll just think about that, those 4 to 5 things. And I'm not saying that there's no creativity involved in that. Also, there's creativity involved in how they arrange
Mm-hmm.
that or how they place that on that paper and how they color that. But, again, when it comes to that, it's a limited exposure, limited to those 4 to 5 things. But when we are
Mm-hmm.
telling that, when we are not telling them about anything, when we are just saying that draw anything that you want, they are trying to, think and, relate with some of the experience that
Right.
they have lived in few days and weeks. So I feel like, instead of just telling them, I feel like sometimes we can do that, but sometimes this is also very important.
Okay. Right.
Yeah. And yeah, so I was talking about, after that, I would just say that to boost the self confidence,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's really very important that now we are having technology as a blessing for all of us.
Right.
Use of some visual pictures and voices to make the children express. herself or himself. That would also be, showing some pictures in a slide, or putting on your headphones and making that child hear some voices, kind of,
While they are
how
doing.
the children, yeah, and
Mhm.
kind of telling the children to just tell what you heard, or kind of
Right,
what
right.
this picture says or what that picture means. So
Uh-huh.
use of technology can also be done, and this is a kind of digital art, you can say, because that is also one of the art therapy techniques, like digital
Mhm.
art. Nowadays we are using a lot. There's social media and there's everything, everywhere you see digital
Right.
art. So that is also one of the techniques that we can make use in this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's this question from the audience, Sakshi. Do you think we should
Mhm.
use art on a daily basis? I think she's written daily purpose. So how
Yeah.
often
So when
can
it
we use it?
Yeah. So when it comes to art, I don't know whether you can do it on daily purpose or not, but I would suggest that for me, I do it on daily purpose because I really need that. And for me, art is something which helps me calm and just to take off all the burden and stress of work from my mind. So what
Right.
I do is I just sometimes take a paper, I'll take my crayons, and I'll start scribbling. So that is also
Mhm.
one of the kind of grounding exercises for me. So the same can be you for you, or it could be just like to make yourself feel calm, or kind of just get your hands dirty some days. Even that's really therapeutic. Just
Right.
take your colors, poster colors, whatever you have, paint your hand, put some paint on your hands and just put your handprints on that paper. Even that really feels therapeutic. So
Okay.
I wouldn't say that you can practice art on daily basis, but when you are feeling low, when you're feeling you're not understanding what should I do, or nowadays we are having an ample amount of time available in our hands, try learning some new art form, or try learning
Right.
mandala, try learning centennial patterns. So yeah, that is kind of it some or the other way that is really going to help you. So yeah.
Is it good for therapists or people working with children from special needs? Okay, so Sakshi, we have been talking about how we can use art with special needs children, but the strategies that Shamli has shared can be used with anyone, not just children with special needs. So, since Shamli, you mentioned about
Yes.
the effect of technology, nowadays all the children are learning through digital media, either on
Yeah.
Zoom or Google Meet or some other application. So, how can we
Yes.
engage? What kind of therapeutic art activities can we use during those online classes with children?
Okay, so kind of including a drawing hour in between, or giving them a break of 10 minutes. Obviously, I think because now I have a small brother who is studying in school, and I feel like he has 10 to 15 minutes break between every lecture. So
Right,
at that time, he might just I try to give him that paper, and or I sit with him sometimes and kind of draw that, and make him
right,
teach him draw a small house or small tree or something like that. Sometimes we just take our clays and kind of start playing with that clay and make small small structures out of that. Or sometimes we also what we do is we have some cutouts of the paper, or I make some cutout of the paper and I'll ask him to stick it over there, stick this over there, kind of pulses, doing activity with pulses, sticking those pulses, or doing
okay,
activity with rangoli, sticking that
right, right,
rangoli in different shapes and forms. So I feel and I'm not saying that you should do it every day. If that child doesn't want to do, even you can't force that, or
right,
if
right,
you yourself don't want to do it every day, you can't force yourself, right? So I
right.
feel like whenever it comes to like especially feeling low, or especially that child needs to be given some kind of space, or that child needs to be given some kind of break, I feel like this is one of the best activities that the child can do.
Okay, okay. So what I have been experiencing is that we've been using a lot of art activities with our children, but we are not able to
Mm-hmm.
involve them in a lot of craft activities where they need to cut or paste because we are not there with
Okay.
them physically to be able to guide them where to stick, how much glue to use. But when it comes to
Yeah.
drawing, with the screen sharing
Mhm.
option, we are able to show them that first you draw this line, then you draw it like that, so that is kind of working for them. So,
Yes.
would you be able to share some strategies for what other things the teachers could, what other activities that teachers could use where minimal support would be required?
Okay. So, the art therapy activities that I will be talking about, it's basically related to just expressing themselves.
Okay.
It would be related to, just thinking, making them think about their family, making them think about, what they're doing in school, what they need to do, or something like that. So, first of all, I would love to suggest is, a family picture or a family tree.
Okay.
So where they will kind of, just write down or, draw their family structure. And again, here, one of the most important things to see and watch will be, how they draw the size and shape and the arrangement of family members. So,
Okay.
the father stands here, then mother, or something like that, whatever, according to the creativity of that child.
Ha
The second I feel is, as I told you, like just give them the paper, just give them the colors and ask them to draw whatever they want to draw. That could be also one of the best activities because, I've done this activity in one of the schools and it was really, really amazing to see what the children had done. So there were a lot of them who were, what in the school we have always taught this drawing of drawing a tree and then
Yeah.
there's a house and then there's a river. So
Mountains,
half of
sun
them,
between the mountains.
yeah, yeah. So half of them, they did the same painting. There were mountains, trees, and house, and then there's a river flowing, and there was a sun
Yeah.
between those mountains. But half of them, they were really very, very nice drawings. Like one of them, just used some colors, made some bubbles out of those colors. It was just that painting. Another one, he just, draw two boys, they're playing with each other. Even that was something different. Another picture that was, just green, everything green, and that boy had drawn leaves with pencil. I mean,
Okay.
that wasn't very mature drawing, but according to that child, the creativity was very nice and I was blown looking at that drawing. So, kind of making them draw something new, making them draw something different. And, you will get to know that, okay, how is the creativity going and how, what they're thinking and, what is they're expressing through that drawing or their emotions, expressing their thoughts. So that is one of the things. And also, I feel like, as I told you, sliding some pictures and making them hear some voices, that could be also one of the best things, like showing them the picture and asking them, okay, what did you saw in this picture, or what are they doing, and just kind of understanding the approach, whether the approach is optimistic or what it is. So yeah, those are a few activities.
I think the audience is liking the ideas. So,
Yes.
so thank you, Shalmali. Thank you for sharing so many different strategies. I'm sure, along with me, the other people in the audience would also be able to use these strategies with their children. And I think we as
Yes.
adults can also use this for ourselves to, calm ourselves down because given the lockdown, we are still taking a lot of precautions, even though now we are allowed to go out. And it can be pretty overwhelming. So,
Yes,
art definitely helps release a lot of stress, not just for children, but for adults as well. So, I'm also going to try some of the strategies that you've shared with my students during their online sessions. So, I think this has been really very helpful,
definitely.
Shamali. Thank you so much for coming online and sharing your secrets with us.
Thank you for having me, and I hope that was a helpful session. I hope the activities that I told were helpful. And really, guys, do practice art. And I'm not saying that on everyday basis, but art is really that one of the exercises that will give you some exercise to your brain also, but at the same time, it will also help you. So, maybe any parents who are
Right,
watching the session, maybe any adults who are working professionals, or maybe children who are watching the session, but art is for everyone. Just try doing that.
right, right. And it's not just for people who can draw really well. Even if you've never drawn before, you can still use art as a therapy.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So thank you, Shalmali. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye bye.